Welcome to Jazz Time. JazzTime.com is an online store that buys, sells, trades authentic luxury watches. We make these videos so our customers can easily choose the best watch for themselves in the comfort of their own home. If you like this watch and would like to purchase it at the lowest price anywhere online, click on the link in the description below to buy it at JazzTime.com. Today, I'll be reviewing the Cartier Santos-Dumont watch limited edition extra large manual winding in platinum. It referenced WGSA0082, limited to 200 pieces only, created in 2023 approximately. I'll tell you a little bit about the case bezel dial bracelet movement. Finally, I'll try it on and give you my thoughts. So let's start with a small overview, which is where does this watch belong in the catalog of Cartier's? Well, Cartier makes many different collections, one of which is the Santos collection. The Santos is marked or delineated by this special feature, which is that the watch is a square, or at least the bezel looks to be square. They make many different funky sizes, or shapes, I should say. The tank, which is a rectangle. The Santos, which is what you're looking at here, which is a square. The Panther, which is also a square. The Ballon Bleu, which is as the name suggests, ballon or balloon. I'm not sure if that's what it is in French, but in English, a balloon is circular, and it has a little hump at the end, and they have a Baguenor, which is elliptical or oval. So they make many very funky shapes. What you're looking at here is the Santos. It has a square shape to it, and of this Santos collection, there's the Dumont, D-U-M-O-N-T. They make these Dumonts with generally a manual wind and a bit thinner and a little bit more dressy. Okay, and this one is quite special. So let's start talking about it. That's a little bit about the history. Let's start talking about the watch itself. The watch was created in 2023. I'm sure some of them have started trickling in even in 23, 24, 25 even, but they were supposed to be limited to 200 pieces. And why? Well, it's quite special. That's why, because most Dumonts, if you look at Cartier.com or JazzTime.com, you can see they don't have the specialty that you're looking at here. What is special? Well, first thing you can notice is that the watch has red on it. There is no other current Cartier that has the red on it. They all have black Roman numerals with blue cavachon. This one actually has red numerals with a red cavachon. That's probably what you can notice. And it's extra large. So that makes it fit for people who want a larger kind of in-your-face, more substantial watch. And most of the Cartier Santos Dumonts are going to be around 10,000, or less, or somewhere around, even gold is around 18,000, 17,000, something like that. This one is actually in platinum, so it's even more expensive. I think it was retailing somewhere in the mid-20s or something like that. But as I said, they're limited, and they're not making any more Santoses in platinum. So if you want one in platinum, well, this is the one you have to buy. And you can do so by buying it at JazzTime.com. Okay, now with that said, let's start talking about sort of the watch itself, starting with the case. The case, I'm going to give you the dimensions, and then I'll tell you about it. It has a dimension of 46 going top to bottom. That means 12 to 6, and 33.9, call it 34 millimeters from left to right. But really, it's a square, because if you look at the bezel, well, it looks like a square. Okay, and yeah, it's the largest size. In fact, it's extra large. It's even larger than large, extra large. But it's not too big. You'll see it on my wrist shortly. It's a great size, really great size, actually. Okay, so and I should mention as well that the case itself is made of platinum, which gives it that a brighter look to it, heavier, more substantial. And they don't make many platinum watches, and so when they do it special with this special dial configuration, special cavachon, to let you know that, hey, you're wearing a platinum watch, not just some regular, steel Dumont. Okay, so it adds an extra layer of a specialness to it. Okay, that is the case. All right, and also I should mention it's quite thin, and it is thin because And actually, the thinness is actually only 7.5 millimeters. And you might think, well, it must be a quartz watch. No, it's not a quartz watch. It's actually a manual wind watch which they don't have a rotor because you manually wind it. You wind it through via the crown, and that allows it to keep this super thin, which makes the watch very wearable under a suit cuff or in a dress fashion, and it just makes the watch a little bit more incognito. So they do so, and they manage to keep the height very thin, 7.5 millimeters, and they make it out of platinum. So what else could you want? Okay, and since we're talking about the case, we couldn't skip the ruby Cabochon here at the crown, which is what you'll be touching every other day while you wind your platinum Cartier, because normally, as I said, the Cabochon is blue and the Roman numerals are blue. That's their color, or dark, not blue, but black, sorry. And the hands are usually blue. That's almost always how their stuff is. But they do some of these special editions, which is what you see here, which is why this watch is quite special. Okay, it has basically everything that you would want if you're a fan of Cartier and you like this look. Okay, that is I already talked about the case. The bezel, it has these exposed screws, kind of reminiscent of a Royal Oak, but they've actually are the first to do it. They did it much before. AP started doing their exposed screws on their octagonal bezel in 1972, and Cartier did it much earlier than that. I want to say something like early 1900s. So it's been around for quite some time. And it has a square look, very unique and very Cartier, timeless, beautiful. That's the bezel. Okay, let's talk about the dial. Normally, I said the dial, this dial is very unique in that it has this red, or they call it red jasper Roman numerals. I call it red, okay? And they call it apple-shaped polished steel hands. So the circle steel hands, they usually don't look like that. If you know what other Santos look like, they look like sword blue hands, which matches the Cabochon. That's almost invariably how it looks, but they do a special hand, and almost everything is different about it, except of course the main things that you can't change, which is the case. But they changed the color, they changed, and in the center, I might say it looks sort of like they have a Gila shade dial in the center, which is a patterned dial on the center. So quite interesting. Okay, that is the case, that's the bezel, that's the dial. I told you about now the movement is, it's a manual winding 430 MC movement. As I just told you, it is manual wind and it's very thin, 7.5 millimeters. Let's move on to the strap. Now the strap it's burgundy, and you might wonder, ooh, I don't know if I can wear with burgundy, but burgundy can be a substitute actually for black. So it looks very similar to black, except that it has a hint of red in it, which is not a bad thing because having a hint of red, it gives it a little bit of color, but at the same time makes it so that it can still be worn with many different kind of darker clothing. So I could see somebody wearing this with a suit, a dark suit, for business, or whatever. It's gonna look fantastic, and it's gonna add a little bit of flavor, not just be some boring black. Okay, all right. So anyways, that is the strap. And time to try this watch on my wrist. Now, I'm 6 foot tall, 200 pounds. I have a 7.5 inch wrist. As you see, this watch looks great on my wrist, and I'm going to recommend it for anyone with a wrist size of, let's say, 6.75 or larger, because it's if you have a smaller wrist size, they make like a different watch for that, like a size extra large. But anyways, it's a great looking watch. It fits very well on the suit cuff. It's one of only 200, and you can get it at jazztime.com. So I'm gonna give it 2 thumbs up. Click on the link in the description below to buy it at jazztime.com.
If you want to find out more about the watch you just saw in the video, you can just click below on Show More to see the full description. Then you can check the link next to Model as seen in video, click on it, and you will get to the proper page where you can see all the details. If you're watching on a mobile phone, you have to click on the arrow down on the right hand side below the video to see the full description. If you like this video, please give us a thumbs up. If you would like to share this video with your friends, you can use the share button below and share it on any platform you like. If you have questions, constructive feedback, want to tell us about some mistakes or misspeaks, just write a comment below. If you want to see more videos like this, you should subscribe to our channel and visit our channel page where you can find all the videos. And if you're interested in a specific watch brand, you can check out our playlists. If you want to check the price for a watch or want to buy one, remember at jazztime.com you always get a steep discount, so you should check the prices with us. If you want to know the price for a specific watch, just go to Google, type in jazz time, plus the brand, model, and the details you're interested in, and Google will find the right page for you. Thank you for watching.